Do you ever have trouble getting to sleep or maintaining that deep and meaningful rest? Well, you're not the only one, but luckily a lot of this can be solved with just a routine in the evening. So that's what we're going to talk about today. It's known as sleep hygiene. I thought it'd be an excellent opportunity to talk about some of the oils that I use in the evening. However, it doesn't really matter what type of oil you use. It's more about the routine that you do on a repeated basis. So when you're setting up a diffuser, I think it's important to think about how the diffuser sounds. That's a gentle hum of the fan, the bubbling of the water inside. Perhaps the diffuser has a warm glow to it. And then you've got to think about the scent, how it makes you feel at that moment in time. That's what's important. For me, setting up an aromatherapy diffuser is like a way of telling my mind that it's now ready to rest. So what I like to do at 6 p.m. is set up my diffuser with a couple of drops of oil, and then I'll make myself some dinner. I'll come back to my room and I'll be presented with a lovely scent that I know I can relax to. I will make sure that I'll do as many of the tasks that I can just to complete my day. But I'll be strict with myself and say, well, no more electronics, at least now before I go to sleep. That means no TV, no laptop, and definitely no phone. I know it can be tough, but you have to be strict for this to work. Over the years, I have found some excellent videos on sleep hygiene and just, improving my sleep in general, so I don't feel I can add too much there. So what I am going to focus on is the oils that I'm using today. And those are actually both called Sweet Dreams. However, they are from different companies. So I thought it'd be quite nice to do a little comparison. What we got here is one from Aroma Energy and another from Nikura. Now, they both actually share lavender and ylang ylang together. However, they've decided to go slightly different routes, in my opinion. So Sweet Dreams by Aroma Energy is a little bit more simplified. They've simply added chamomile to this mix, which adds perhaps a little bit more of a smoky and floral scent, or floral. And then we've got Sweet Dreams. Now they've added a bit more. So they've got cedarwood, lemon verbena, and they've removed that chamomile. Now, this one is perhaps a little bit more sweeter, and I won't lie, I slightly prefer it, mainly because I like lemon verbena. There's something I've been promising for some time now, which is to do a comparison between the scent in the bottle and the diffuser itself, and it is quite different. Some of you may even be familiar with this if you've walked into a shop and looked for a perfume or aftershave, and you get the assistant give a little spritz of the scent onto one of those paper strips. Now the reason for this is when you aerosolize a scent, that is to create the mist droplets, it creates a very different scent profile. I believe it's down to things like oxidization, but it sounds like lots of sciencey stuff that goes a little bit over my head. But either way, I think this is a comparison that's worth doing. The evening's just drawn in and I'm about to set up my diffuser. So the first scent I'm going to try is this one by Aroma Energy. It is the Sweet Dreams one with lavender, ylang ylang and chamomile. It reads, blend of natural essential oils. Have a great night's sleep. It's made in England. So, firstly, I'm going to try what the scent is out the bottle, and it is probably, like a lot of these scents, quite muted, I would say, out of the bottle. So what you get is something that's very earthy straight away. I would say it hasn't really got some of the sweet notes that I'd expect. In fact, you don't really detect the lavender too much. I would say the chamomile and perhaps the ylang ylang overpowers it a little bit inside the bottle, and that gives a floral, earthy scent. I think some people describe ylang ylang as being perhaps a little bit spicy, like it's got like warm spices, I guess. I could see that. I think it's, definitely a more smoky, earthy scent though. Anyway, let's pop it in the diffuser. So currently I have about 100 milliliters of water in here. and I'm going to put in around 4 drops of the oil. Lovely. So, in the end, the amount of oil you use is down to preference. This is mainly so I could test it, but I think probably about 8 drops managed to find its way in. So, let's reassemble. Okay. Yeah, I can tell you straight away that's already quite different. But I think I'm trying to think how I'll describe that. Well, firstly, it's a lot fresher, that's for sure. I think one of these sort of scents, or like a lot of diffused scents, you've got to allow the aroma to propagate a little bit. I find that usually if I've left it on for about 5 minutes, I've got a slightly different idea of what's going on. But considering I'm right next to this, yeah, I would describe this more like a homely scent now, actually. It's less of that sort of earthiness. I'll tell you what it kind of reminds me of, actually. And this is more myself here. It's like walking into a clothes shop, one that sells maybe a few leather products, and it's got that sort of very leathery sort of scent in the background. Again, earthiness with that floral note, but yeah, definitely a scent of clothing. Maybe it's the washing powders that are used in the clothing, actually. That's what I'm sort of detecting there. It's very nice, though. This scent is actually a little bit of a blast from the past from me, because I used to use it on a daily basis. I've gone for a few bottles of this one, and I know it is, again, it's a very personal thing. I'd imagine not everyone would like this, but for me, this is essentially what relaxation smells like. It's an earthiness. It's something that's slightly familiar that I'm used to. I really like this one. I'm curious how it compares. This is the next Sweet Dreams by Nikura, and when I smelt it earlier, I would say it was a bit more of a sweeter scent. So I just want to confirm that again. Oh yeah, that's definitely quite different. This one is cedarwood, lavender, lemon verbena, and lang lang. It doesn't have quite the same description on it, which is a shame, because I like the one that wished me a restful night's sleep. But yeah, that's really quite pleasant, that one. So I'm going to do the same as before. I've got 100 millilitres of water in here. I'm going to put around about 4 drops of oil. There we go. Now, smelling this in the bottle, this one to me it reminds me a little bit more of maybe like a candy shop, a sweet dream shop. It's a little bit more like licorice, maybe. It's got a slightly aniseed scent, but yeah, it's definitely sweeter. You do smell the lavender a little bit more as well, I'd say. So yeah, it should be quite an interesting contrast, actually. Let's give it a go. Okay, straight away I can tell you that's a lot more subtle. Perhaps it's because I accidentally put a few too many drops in the last one, but either way, the actual scent itself is a lot less intense in terms of, how should I describe this? It's more balanced in terms of the sweet and the earthy tones. In the bottle, well, straight away, just prior to this, I was saying that it is a lot sweeter of an oil, and I actually disagree with my original analysis of that. It's actually, it's a sort of almost like a sweet bitterness that, again, it reminds me of sweets. It's incredibly nice. I can't believe I've not used this one before. It's it's just reminiscent of walking into a sweet shop and being presented with all the different choices. I remember the licorice torpedoes. Do you remember those? With the licorice, obviously, with a sugar coating on the outside. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It's slightly aniseedy. Got that licorice scent with some very sweet honey-like notes. And the cedar wood is coming through a little bit more, I'd say. The scent from the bottle is quite different. You would not say they're both the same things at all. Okay, so if I was going to make a comparison now, compared to when I was smelling the bottle, well, this one wins straight away. I'm definitely going to be using that later on, so I might just leave my diffuser on now. This is the winning scent of the day, I'd say. Not to say the other one was terrible, but Sweet Dreams by Nikura, I think you've done a good job. I couldn't help myself, I just really wanted to say I love the way this looks and the way it sounds. It is just that gentle hum of the fan, the bubbling of the water. It's so relaxing, but also when you actually put an oil in, that's the bit I really want to show you. Yeah, there's something kind of magical about that, I think. There's a lot to be said about the medicinal side of aromatherapy, but I'm afraid I'm not qualified in this subject, and it's not something I wish to make commentary about. However, I do know from a psychological perspective, from experience from myself and seeing other people, I know that there are certain scents we might associate with relaxation, and I think this is what you've got to focus on. For example, a friend of mine, I know they love really artificial scents, so something like birthday cake or jelly beans is very relaxing to them. Now, I highly doubt you'll get someone else recommend jelly bean scent for going to sleep, but if it works for them, then who am I to disagree? I personally like sweet and earthy aromas, so both of these oils are perfect for me, and I don't really want to compare them against each other because I like them both. However, if I was going to do some sort of comparison, then perhaps I would say Aroma Energy is a little bit more of a subtle, smoky, earthy scent, and it's perhaps a little bit more grounded, something a bit more natural, I guess you could say. Sweet Dreams, however, it's something that's maybe a little bit more playful, vibrant, a little bit more fresh. I would say that the cedarwood inside does hold back that sort of over sweetness that you might expect, but how would I describe it? I've got an idea. It's exactly, in my mind, like when you sharpen a pencil and you get the aroma from that. That's almost what it's like, but if you added the sweetness, almost like the scent of custard or something a bit more floral added to the side of that. So, pencil shavings with custard and flowers. That's going to be my description of Nikura's Sweet Dream. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I can tell you it's quite a nice scent. Thank you for watching this week's Scent Saturday. I hope you enjoyed it. I just thought this would be a good opportunity to mention that Mirist, the glass diffuser that you saw earlier in the video, is now live on Kickstarter on their pre-launch. What that means is you can show your interest, so as soon as the project comes live, you'll be the first that's notified. This will mean a lot to me because it's going to be the first step to making this project a reality. So if you like the idea of a glass aromatherapy diffuser, then please do visit the link in the description, and I'll be sure to see you on the next video. Goodbye.